You know
It's
how
all
many
nice stuff.
years he was watching the machine? You know
Trump?
how many years? Yeah.
Yeah,
How many years
he was watching for a long time.
When he talked about how he had to donate money to Hillary Clinton for her to show up at his wedding,
Yeah.
like that kind of shit.
Yeah, no, he was rubbing elbows with all of those like elite people, you know.
He was watching the machine forever.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he talked shit about Obama being from Kenya. That's what's like set the whole buffoonery into motion, right? Because then like people were mocking him, and Obama mocked him. Remember? He did the White House press correspondence dinner, and he said, "Here's one thing that I am that you'll never be, President of the United States." You see Trump in the audience going,
He made fun
you're
of
taunting a psycho.
Yeah.
You're taunting a psycho.
Yeah, he taunted him, and Trump was the one thing that Trump is truly a genius at is like he's like a genius level self-marketer.
Oh yeah.
Like and it's all like instinctual, you know, like he's like, it's not like he like intellectualizes it. He just kind of like knows. He knows how to make himself the center of the story.
Right.
He knows how to like say the thing that will get the reaction out of people, and that turned out to be an incredibly useful skill in campaigning.
Oh yeah.
You know, like he applied that to campaigning, and then it just took off. And he also, you know, he tapped into something, even with the birth certificate stuff with Obama, which I think is all goofy, you know. But he tapped into like the level of distrust that people had in this government, and the level that they knew how much everyone was lying to them, that they were even willing to entertain this really big lie could have been told to them. Maybe this whole thing's a fucking lie, you know. And it's kind of like, I think this has been building up throughout the 21st century in America, and this is why there's like things like, you know, and on both sides. The Russia conspiracy stuff, the QAnon stuff, even back to like 9/11 truth or like loose change and stuff like that. People are when there's so many lies being told by powerful people, people are very open to the idea that they're lying about a whole bunch more stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that's most dangerous about finding out that intelligence agencies are involved in censorship. Because it makes people even more suspect to propaganda, more suspect that they're going to less likely to trust the government now than ever before.
Yeah.
And the rise of a far right candidate is more likely now, I think, than probably ever been before.
Yeah, I think that's
some no nonsense person that people can get behind.
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, like sometimes I'll see like the most insane of like the woke shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like whatever it is, you'll be like you know, it's like some like, you know, drag queen giving a lap dance to like a 6-year-old or something.
Right.
And you're just like, this is like, it's like my first thought is like, this is the most outrageous, appalling thing I've ever seen. And then my second thought, almost like not even second, it's like that's one, and then 1A is like, oh my God, we're going to live under a right-wing dictatorship. Because, man, I am the most just freedom, liberty-loving person, and it's like you're trying to turn me into a right-wing like dictator. Like you see this stuff and you're like, oh my God, the reaction against this is gonna. And this was the thing that Jordan Peterson like initially warned about. If you remember when he first was those videos where he was arguing with those social justice warriors out there, and he goes, "You are poking something, and you have no idea what you're poking. You have no idea what the response to this is going to be." And that's still a big concern.
Yeah, and people, when they have an idea in their head, like this progressive ideology that they think is so important that it needs to take over the world, and they're trying to indoctrinate.
And it must be imposed on other people's children.
And these people have control of a lot of the big tech corporations, which is wild. Like the ethics of that particular
and a lot
ideology.
of the public schools.
Yes.
You know, that's like a thing. You remember when the Justice Department called those angry parents terrorists?
It's crazy.
Well, but there's almost like two things to it, right? There's like one. At first, you're like, well, that's crazy, right? That's insane to call them terrorists. But then in the second part of it, you're almost kind of like, you know, I kind of get it, because there is something. I do remember seeing some of those videos and the anger in these parents, you know. But it's like, that's the thing, you know. Like I'm like It's like I'm lucky enough. I got little kids, and I'm gonna keep them away from all this stuff. Like I'm able to do that. But a lot of people aren't in that situation, and like their kids are in these public schools, and they have no other option. You know what I mean? Like they pay their property taxes. I don't have any more money left over to send my kids to private school. Like this is